ディズニーが最初に開発し、その後スピンアウトしオープンソースとなったドラゴンチェーンからドラゴンチェーン商用プラットフォームおよびドラゴンチェーンインキュベーターが登場。まず資産となるデータの保護に重点を置いているドラゴンチェーンプラットフォームを見ていきましょう。サーバーレス構造を用いた拡張性高いプラットフォームは、スマートコントラクトの開発者たちが Java、Python、Node、C# など使い慣れたプログラミング言語で作り込まれるようパッケージ化されています。さらに、すべてのスマートコントラクトが Amazon AWS とその他の機能にフルアクセスできます。次はドラゴンチェーンインキュベーターを見ていきましょう。ドラゴンチェーンインキュベーターはブロックチェーンプロジェクトのローンチに必要なプロセスを標準化しました。では次にドラゴンチェーンの市場を見ていきましょう。暗号通貨、マーケティング、法律、ソフトウェア開発、採用といったあらゆる分野のスペシャリストたちが集まるエコシステムになっています。またこの市場には開発者たちが再利用目的で収益化したビルド済みのスマートコントラクタライブラリーも含まれています。最後に紹介するのがドラゴンチェーンプラットフォームとエコシステム全体の全てのサービスにアクセスするためのトークン化されたマイクロライセンスです。ブロックチェーンビジネスマジック用に設計されています。あなたも最も安全で柔軟性が高くビジネス仕様のブロックチェーンプラットフォームとエコシステムのうちになれます。10月2日、いよいよドラゴン発売開始。
The first tap of a conductor's wand. The first rivet in a mile-high tower. The master link at the genesis of the never-ending chain. The moment a single empty canvas meets a singular master stroke. There is no one thing. Because now, there are many. Because soon, there will be more. Because one is ever the beginning. Like the first link in an infinite chain, or the first rivet in the tallest skyscraper. The master stroke is found in the masterpiece. What will you begin?
All capital, label radical yet rational. A doctrinal approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.
All right, and I did not have everybody up there. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's see here. Total fail. Where's Greg? He's in the ether. 4 stars.
Invisible.
He'll be with us shortly, I'm sure. I can see him.
Oh no.
You guys can see him. Oh, there we go. We got movement. All right.
The aliens took him.
Welcome, everyone, to the 209th episode of the World Blockchain Roundtable. Hosts for today are Lisa Mighty Davis from Mighty Layer on Den.Social, Andrew Joseph, and Zach Kaiser from the Legacy Right podcast. Right? Is this correct? It's the right name, yes? I'm like, something doesn't sound right.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Greg from Rivet. Greg at Rivet. And Din. Is it pronounced Din?
You can say it Din. Yes.
Din. Okay, very good.
Centralized Infrastructure Network. That's what it stands for, folks.
Excellent. You'll tell us more about that because I don't know if yeah, everybody. And I don't know what you what to tell everybody else. And Satoshi Sean, everyone's friend or friend, depending if you're anyway, whatever. How's it going on?
If you're a degen or not. Degens drop the D on friend.
Yes. You all right, Sean? You good?
Yeah.
Sean was here on time today. It was awesome.
I am. I'm on time. I'm trading right now.
Excellent. Okay, so quick update on the Lair ownership tokens from last week. Let's see here. I have those here, and I don't even have anything shared for this. This is so horribly not. I'm just not what do I want to say? Prepared today. So anyway, let's see. First up, geez, where am I at here? Quick update. I guess I don't have a link for this. Quick update on last week. 111 a lot for every topic contributor. Sorry, 55 for every topic contributor. 110 for every host. Last week's theme was nominated by I Am 4IAM, who gets another 55 lot. He's gonna do us all in. Last week was stablecoin surge, and I don't know if anybody watched, but the stablecoins did go up as Sean predicted last week. So everything's awesome, and Sean made the call. We give him the what do you call it, the alpha, whatever.
$1,000,000.
Anyway, and it was a good show. It was fun. But this week is the pizza show, right? The Bitcoin pizza show. But before we get to that, we have themes for in the Roundtable DAO for the June shows. So we'll go through these real quick. I don't know if I'm going to refresh, see if there are any votes yet.
I think I voted.
Okay, so wallet security in the quantum computer age, blockchain and quantum computing, freestyle blockchain content, current event and blockchain solution, great reset, blockchain solutions for a world governing body. Isn't that what the iCoin is, or was it WorldCoin or iCoin, whatever that was?
Oh, where they all went and scammed their eyeball.
That was a psyop. Decentralized identity for a surveillance-free future. See, that's probably. I'll bet you that was William. I bet you that was I Am for I Am. I don't know. That's my bet. Blockchain for military solutions. Wow. Invite your favorite military expert.
That was me.
Is that a ploy to get Dave back on?
That was my idea.
Oh, that would be good. Dave would have to come on for that.
If he could be our special military consultant.
That would be smart. Crypto anarchy. Replacing state functions with blockchain. That's very important. Oh, look, who voted on that? Jackson. Excellent. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah. If a city state ran on
but I'm putting my money there, man. That one's definitely happening.
One. Yeah, it's like I kind of want the current event one, but this one could be full of solutions. I'm going to go ahead and vote on that in just a minute. If a city state ran on blockchain, I do love the framing of a city state, because I actually think we could, if crypto were allowed to go as it was looking or in the early days, my theory was that we would end up with things you would probably call indie states, where people would issue their own currencies and essentially.
Me and Lisa did kind of a deep dive into the new stablecoin bill, the Genius Act, and reading through it, it's insane, but it does kind of go along with that city-state mentality, because it gives permission to basically anyone to issue currency.
It does, however, add KYC requirements to anything that you're willing to call stablecoin based in US dollars, which is basically like, the alchemy recipe for a CBDC is stablecoin plus end-to-end surveillance by the state.
And it's so funny too, because Grandma Smith issues her own currency so that she can pay her the boy to mow the lawn, right? So she pays in Grandma Smith coin, but she has to get full KYC for this lawn boy.
The way it's worded is you have to have less than, I think it was it like $10 billion or $2 billion in assets. So you have to have, you can be a small bank or credit union and issue your own money, but you have to be able to prove that it's backed by dollars, and people can't save it. They can't earn any interest. All stable coins cannot earn interest in any way, shape, or form.
So you mean they can't take deposits in stable coins and lend it back out? Is that what that's saying?
No, that's exactly what it is.
Wait, they can't.
That's exactly what it's
Wait a minute. Am I to believe that our current government is wanting to pass something that that makes usury illegal? Is that true?
You can only use it.
They're already doing that with dollars, so you can't be double on the usury. They're already doing that with dollars. So
I guess so, but still,
I feel like it's just a subtle way. It's just a subtle way to keep the bad money driving the good crypto money out of the market.
Yeah.
By just making it a little less useful to bankers.
So crazy.
Because the utility to bankers is sort of like inverse utility for currency.
Well, if we don't get to it, let's cover that at some time in the second half, because I want to know more about it. Because Matt, I mean, I think there's be some opportunity, because guess what? Any of these banks that do it, here's my bet: none of them does any sort of a proof of reserves. Because crypto could have already done that, and they don't. They don't do it anywhere, and I'm like, why don't they do
Coinbase takes a strong moral stance against proof of reserves.
Like even the good ones, even like Kraken, they don't do proof of reserves, do they?
They do at least something a little better. There is one good one. There's one good one I found out there that literally went out of their way to do full itemized proof of reserves that cover all asset classes down to.
That's amazing. We should find out who that is, because
those guys are awesome. I don't have their name off the top of my head, but I've been meaning to have an excuse or find an excuse to tell people about them. They're like the least sexy sex out there, basically.
Nice. Okay, so
the Coinbase
in action. Blockchain.
That sounds like
economic markets.
That one right there sounds like William.
So
that does.
Basel III, like the in-game thing, supposed to kick in July 1st of this year.
Great liquidity
and so that's where I think that's gonna. I guess that's why they're really pushing the stablecoin thing, and they're gonna have to, shut up or put up.
Let me check this.
I personally appreciate them driving everybody into some kind of dark alternative that's not anchored to a fiat currency by threatening to do this.
The browser is being wonky. Okay, it's already in the lead, replacing state functions with blockchain. Although I might want to call it as a city-state functions, but either way, it's all good. So get in there and vote. I don't even know. We should look how many people. Is it really an even 100 people owning World Blockchain Roundtable? Is that really true? Let's look.
Dragon chain.
Not followers. Where can I look at owners? I swear I can look at owners somewhere, right? I can't remember.
Should be able to.
I cannot remember. Anyway, I'll find out later.
Screw it. I voted for the city-state option.
Right on. Okay, so we're going to go to today. Is today actually, can someone verify, is today Bitcoin Pizza Day, or did that already?
It is.
Is it actually today? Okay, that's interesting. Okay, cool.
May 22nd.
I swear you can look somewhere in here and see the owners, but I don't see them. I see followers and following. Oh, wait. This is the user. I'm looking at user. I need to look at the layer, right? World Blockchain Roundtable. Layer information. Here we go. Look at that. I'm top owner. William is second. Greg's third. Greg had passed me for quite a while. Something happened, Greg.
Yep.
This is a good look though. Dave is here and hasn't been here for a while. John is here.
I know it's all just because you guys intentionally took the Den iOS app down so that I could no longer contribute as regularly and accumulate.
Oh man, that might be why. I'm sorry. You can make it pretend.
My mobile workstation has been completely destroyed.
Go in there and I think you tell it to add this to your home screen or something, right?
I did that. I'm teasing. I'm just joking.
Man, but look at this. Michael James Smathers is on here even. Matter Lover, Space Thorns, Joe Blow, Eternal Mickey, one of my favorites. Jared, I haven't heard from Jared in a long time. Kiv's Crypto is getting up there in the ranks, man.
Shit. So give us 209 more episodes. How far will
Who is it?
Joe the Plumber. Is he in there?
The Plumber?
Joe the Plumber.
Let me see. Nope, there's no Joe the Plumber. You're the Dragon is in there. All right. Anyway, good stuff. But now we go to the Pizza Day
John
show.
McCain isn't happy.
John McCain.
We're doing slightly better than 2 new owners or 2 new episodes per new owner. They're slightly worse, I guess, but we're almost there.
So that's good. And I don't know that that's reporting everything, because I know like the pagination is not there on like followers and stuff. It only shows 25 followers, and I think they're the oldest followers, and you can't see who else is following you other than that. Anyway, Bitcoin Pizza Day. So get your question in real quick. I'll give you a second to post it, and I will 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're refreshing it, and now we go to the questions. All right, and let's see here. The first question from y'all weird. See, awesome. Y'all Weird, by the way, is here, and I'll play it real quick. Y'all Weird is the person that made the song, and maybe I should put the whole song. It was original music from Y'all Weird, Enter the Dragon, and
it's pretty rad.
Dragon
honestly.
Chain bought it. I think he put it as an NFT, and he's probably sweating because it took me forever to get around to actually buying it because I had to, do all the hardware, all that stuff. So, but either way, Dragon Chain owns the full song. We should probably post the full song somewhere. You know what? I could probably pull it down and play it in the background music, right? Anyway, we could probably put it.
I wonder if you can license it or sub-license it explicitly to Lair members so that they can use it for their own ends only if they're members.
Brilliant.
It's a great
idea.
idea.
Anybody who has World Blockchain Roundtable, you can play it as many times per month or per year.
Use it commercially, put it between different clips on your OnlyFans, that sort of thing.
Yes. That would be awesome.
You wouldn't get dinged. I get dinged all the time on, YouTube if I play it. There.
They claim they've claimed our original content before as something that
really
you don't get credit for this because it's owned by somebody. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic.
It is.
It's all fake.
It is
all fake.
People,
all right.
People do this.
And
they
gay.
control
Fake and gay.
the property.
It's what you get. It's what you get when the best you can do for moderation is a bot checking file hashes.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic. Okay. The question: in the current trajectory of our global society, do you think it's possible we see a future where pizza is actually more scarce than Bitcoin? Asking for a friend. Let's start with Sean. Let's go up. Is that all right, Sean?
Yeah, it's Sean.
Sean.
Were you asking what my name is?
No, I say, is it all right? Is it okay? You go first.
Sean, is that right, Sean? Sean.
Yeah,
Sean.
It's actually Satoshi.
I forgot.
Nakamoto.
Man. No. I'm asking, is it okay? Are you okay to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Ryan.
Is it possible to see a future where pizza is more scarce than Bitcoin? No. Pizza's pretty universal, I think now. Sure, let's talk weird, man. So growing up in Europe, pizza was hard to find. Even in Italy, pizza wasn't great. And raviolis weren't great. Pizza was all right. But so I grew up in these like little towns, and that was one thing that was really hard was American stuff. Pizza, fast food, that kind of thing wasn't around. And now when we're talking about Europe earlier, there's like 2 Domino's in this little town that I grew up in. Domino's, not just there's other pizza places. So it's everywhere. It's become ubiquitous. Maybe that's part of the global agenda. Is global food.
Pizza?
I agree.
Yeah, pizza's probably
it's big sauce.
I had to throw it in.
Yes.
I had to throw it in. Okay. Greg.
I'm going to go ahead and say my answer is unask the question or maybe unanswer this way, because what we're really looking at here is a question about economics, and that means it's going to be very specific to time, place, person, right? And on the margins is where calculation happens. So, right, like in the middle of the Sahara, you've got somebody next to you with Bitcoin, you've got Bitcoin, and you've got somebody next to you with a big bottle of water. Both of them are selling to you if you want it, right? Are you going to trade? Which one are you going to get, right? So where there's no pizza and you take your Bitcoin, you are in fact encountering Bitcoin that is less scarce than pizza. So yeah, it's possible. You could just go to the Sahara and hang out in the middle of it.
So you're saying that pizza will be worth more than Bitcoin? That's what you're saying?
Yes.
The question is, are we going to desertify the world? And I think there's probably a bigger debate on that. I can't answer.
I believe the question is if we're going to desertify the world.
Dessert?
Because it's a food question. Dessert. Yeah.
Does dessert pizza count as pizza?
Dessert pizza. Yeah. All right.
Zach. Breakfast pizza.
Well, first off, I'd like to say that sometimes a good ice cream pizza is pretty tasty. So there you go. Pineapple also belongs on pizza as well. Go fuck yourself. Everybody that's against pineapple on pizza, you're all commies. No, to answer the question, I'm going to answer this as a joke and say that we will reach post-scarcity by 2045 when we have replicators, and you can make all your pizza any time of the week, day, minute, hour, second, whatever. Star Trek will become real with pizza.
Nice.
You can squeeze like a Happy Meal into paste and squish it over a bagel, and you got yourself a pizza.
Yes, yes. I'm waiting for it too.
All right, so it's not going to happen because number one, basically pizza is becoming universal. They've got pizza in Japan and stuff like that. It's not our type of pizza, but it's still trying to chase the concept. And number two, they have 3D printers for pizza that they had at CES like 2017, 2016, something like that. And it's just going to become easier. Enneagram thing. His name's Y'all Weird. Weird is a trigger word for type 6 and type 7. 6 is hate weird things. 7 is love weird things.
We need charts every time you guys talk about that stuff.
So also, he's a walking contradiction.
Also 7, 8, 9.
So hold up. So he's a walking contradiction. He hates weird, but he loves weird. Embrace the weird.
Or he's a mirror for how you feel about weird.
Possibly.
Do you have anything else to finish up, Andrew? Sorry, I didn't.
No, you're good.
Okay. All right.
Sean, I'll get back to you later.
No, I submit my time. Pass.
Okay. All right. I will say a couple of things about this. It depends. It could be more scarce because you can have technological loss, like say, what happened various times in even Western civilization, but other civilizations as well, where full technologies are lost and, sometimes recovered later. And pizza could be one of those technologies, could easily be lost, right? Which maybe Bitcoin survives the threshold, but
I don't know about easily.
And second, that a lot of things can be classified as pizza. Like say, at one point, it was a weird thing, but one of my kids asked, what's the Asian form of a burger? And it turns out it's sushi. I mean, it's just like, you have the equivalent of a bun and you have the meat, and you could do stuff like that. And pizza is kind of similar, like it's the Italian form of a burger. And the other thing, bringing this into the crypto world real quick, is like say the Neapolitan or the let's see here, with a form of pizza, should it be the only pizza? If we're going to say, hey, I'm going to be a Bitcoin maximalist, it's like you can only have a margarita pizza. That's it. You can't have anything else on it because that would be sacrilegious. And why would you have any other form of pizza? Why wouldn't you just have the simple, perfect form of pizza? Why do you need all these other varieties? It's silly.
Right.
Anyway,
that any other answer to the great question is illogical.
Yes. Anyway, okay. So that was everybody. Let's go to the next question. The next question is from Adi2890. What? I want to ask that. I mean, we could ask that. We could say that's a question. Does anybody who has an answer to this question?
I'll answer in the form of a question.
Okay.
Who is somebody who was pretending to be a member of the crypto industry, but is actually a derivative scammer?
Oh, I'm sure a lot of those.
Right. That's totally a reference to SBF, right? Isn't it?
Yeah. That's the first one to come to mind. But I'm sure a lot of other ones. But he's probably the master at that, and also it's somehow getting very rich people, very powerful people to feel bad for him. I don't understand that. And did I ever tell you guys when I was interviewed by New York Times multiple times? Right? They never allowed the writer to quote me, right? So I felt very used, right? I gave him all this info. He wrote some pretty good articles. He has a Pulitzer Prize, right? This dude, right? Didn't quote me. I was like, I'm sorry, my editor cut all the quotes that I had in there. But anyway, when I was asking him about this, I said, why are you, sure, Bitcoin, he wanted to cover something about Bitcoin. And I was like, why don't you cover some of the things that could be done. We have this Dracaria thing. There are other people I know that have really cool stuff going on, and he's like, he just wanted the number go up stuff, and I maybe I understand that, but when I asked him, I mean, at the very least, can you guys stop glazing Sam Bankman-Fried? I mean, what the hell's this victory lap about? And he accused me of anti-Semitism. I'm like, what? I was like, what? I was like, wait, is the guy Jewish? I didn't know this, but it was just like, I didn't say anything about that, but he went straight there. And I'm like, dude, it has nothing to do with it. The guy's a crook.
Sounds like the sort of thinking you might find in South Africa these days.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, I didn't intend to hit upon that. So everybody got the what question? Okay.
No, Greg, I think Greg really was the only one that took the other question seriously. And it is an interesting question. I think it's a comment more that right now, because I mean, look, we've all been in crypto for a long time. We've seen the growth of Bitcoin. We've seen the acceptance. We've seen, them laughing at it. And now we're at the point where in like sub-Sahara Africa, there's people in a village that have like a 15-year-old Android phone that have Bitcoin, but may not have even heard of a pizza or know what a pizza is or seen one in real life. But they have
any desire to eat it if they saw one.
And
for that matter.
think that we're there, where that guy's got Bitcoin, knows what blockchain is, and has never seen a pizza. That's crazy. That really is. Cool. It's a kind of a big deal.
Yep.
In that respect, it actually might be globally already more scarce to have pizza than Bitcoin.
And frankly, I think it's the weird part about it is a lot of the bigger, especially the maximalists, have thought that person shouldn't even have Bitcoin. They shouldn't even need it. It was like, why would you need such a small amount of Bitcoin? You should only have it if you know what I mean?
They're bamboozled by that scholastic nonsense about currency being something other than the medium of exchange.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Dayrock. Does the pizza guy, that is the Bitcoin pizza, the one who spent, was it 10,000 Bitcoin that he spent?
I think it was.
Does the pizza guy know who Satoshi is? I kind of doubt it. Being that early, he probably saw real posts from Satoshi, probably possibly interacted with him. If I would include that as knowing, or at least he's a friend. That's why
Satoshi delivered the pizza.
So
he doesn't have to, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah. I don't know if this is like something that anybody needs a minute on. I don't think that he probably knows him, but
probably not.
Who took
probably not
Bitcoin? Wasn't it Papa John's?
No, it was somebody. It was somebody who bought it with cash from Papa John's to give it to him. Like, I don't remember.
Yeah, but who's that guy? He got 10,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah,
who's that?
He does not want anybody to know who.
Probably traded them all for shit coins during
his pseudo anonymity depends on never being known.
So I hope not. Probably like Michael Saylor jumped out from behind a bush and was like, "I'll pay for your pizza. Give me your Bitcoin."
It was probably Michael Saylor.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. And that whole thing with who was it? Was it Pippin? Who was it that was talking to Saylor saying that he met Satoshi, and Saylor looks at him sideways? Who was that? It was I believe
that was those FBI agents, right?
No, this one was like some sports figure, I think, if I remember right.
Was it Shaq?
No.
Who's
for whatever reason I'm thinking Scottie Pippen, but I don't know that.
I still
very easily have been Hal Finney talking to himself through a clever puppet.
Who's the Green Bay Packers dude who was like giving away? He gave me $10 of the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Who was it?
Oh, he played for the Packers. He went on Twitter. It's like, I'll give anyone $10 of Bitcoin who wants it. And I was like, yeah, sure, dude.
Aaron Rodgers.
And literally, he sent me Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he sent me $10.
Yeah, it sounds like Aaron
Rodgers.
I know
awesome. I've done that. I think I've told everybody. I used to do every single Secret Santa or gift trade thing at Disney, or prior to that at Lockheed. I would always print out a paper wallet and send whatever you can give $15 as the max. So I'd put $15 worth of Bitcoin in it and then give it to them. And I wonder how many people still have it, because at the time it was, it was in the tens of dollars, right?
We should do a show on how much Bitcoin is lost, because people were doing that for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Or just, I mean, I have 8 or 9 Bitcoin that are just lost.
Oh yeah.
You know, from back when it was like under $1, just on an old computer. It's in the trash.
Yep.
You know,
I still have some on in some wallets where it, at least last time I looked, which would have been a few years ago, it was you couldn't move it because it was the fees were bigger than the amounts. But now it's probably worth something more. I could probably send it now.
It's actually interesting why Ethereum can't be fixed supply.
You go on old exchanges where you had dust, and now it's worth like $500.
Yeah.
You know,
yep.
Andrew, why don't you?
And now it's like $500.
Why don't you share the story of the car and the Bitcoin there, Andrew?
Back in 2015, I was working at Walmart and I was mining Bitcoin and just using the money from Walmart to pay for the electricity. And I was living.
Wait, were you running a miner at Walmart? That's the story I want to hear.
No. Right. No, I was at my house, but I was living with my parents. And anyways, they weren't too terribly pleased that I was running these $700 electricity bills, and said, well, you're gonna sell your Bitcoin so that you can help us pay for a car. So I sold like 80% for like a $2,000 car, and then it went up to $20,000 coin within like a year and a half. So it was like $200 a coin at the time. I probably should have just bought it, but
yeah, man.
All they had to do was wait.
I know a guy that sold a bunch to remodel his kitchen, and it made sense right at the time, but it was not a good time.
I mean, any reasonable investor would be like, oh shit, I bought in at $1 and now it's at 35. I'd be stupid not to take profit.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Right. That was the stuff. So
we can go on vacation this year. It'll only be $2,000 that I've got in Bitcoin.
It was so fun to watch it when it was volatile too. Like now it's not volatile because all the banks are in on it. The banks are all they're printing paper Bitcoin and doing all that stuff to keep it within range. So it's not as fun to watch. It was Scottie Pippen who claimed to know the creator of Bitcoin. And he was.
It would be Scotty.
It was Scottie Pippen. Here, let's see if I can.
What if that's just an admission and Satoshi is Scottie Pippen?
It's entirely possible. I did see a very plausible. I will tell you a very plausible case that it was Jack from Twitter, and I was like, at first I was like, I hate thinking that, but it's not implausible.
It's not. It's really not. And the thing about going back to Pippen too, my little joke, like that could be plausible too, because that's a smart dude as well. Like
there was a guy who was FOIAing the FBI because there's an interview where 2 FBI agents are like on a stage talking, and they said that they went to California and interviewed Satoshi. And so this guy is trying to FOIA FBI to get the interview with Satoshi.
It's probably just Craig Wright under condition of anonymity.
Oh my God. I forgot about Craig Wright.
It's Craig
Wright.
It's actually Michael Francis.
I'm going to
get I got a hit on me now.
I can't remember what it was. He's had some nasty words to say, but I do say that I think that there is a you hear about the Trump curses, right? I think the Dragon Chain has a similar effect that we had. Craig Wright said something, I can't remember, something nasty about Dragon Chain at one point, and I asked him what Intel org he worked for, and then he blocked me immediately. And you know what happened to him. And then who else? The dude from, was it Luna that won the algorithmic stablecoin? That he had some really
the guy who was clearly the patsy to ruin algorithmic stablecoins.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. Same thing. He's an Intel
like tons of
org, and they realized and I know we had, because I even said it at one of our company meetings once that. I know that we've had several Intel agents from different orgs who have come in and ended up working for us, unbeknownst to us, right? And one of the dudes kind of like just froze. It was really funny. It's like, yeah. Anyway, I know that they do that. Like they'll position themselves inside of these, inside of crypto companies on purpose to figure out what's going on, to get a handle on it. And I know there are multiple nation states doing it. And it's really weird. It's really crazy.
There's reports of police officers going inside to bust people at McDonald's. They were like working at McDonald's undercover to bust people for pot.
Yep.
Hold up.
So I mean,
why would anything? It's
William, I think, broke the
disproportionate force being used for.
What is it? I haven't been watching the comments. Sorry, guys.
I think William just broke the fourth wall on this one. He says that the IP addresses point to Elon and Jack.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, but also to build a system this sophisticated, you would have to be capable of completely bamboozling any of those kinds of tracking metrics.
The Romanian
in order to
drug
understand
dealer,
the core
forgot about
technologies.
that guy.
You're already completely untraceable. And
that's the last question, by the way.
Compounding that, like all of the cypherpunk newsletters, like all the entire history of that is published. You can go see these ideas from their inception in the mid 1980s coming to life for the first time. Like anybody could access the ideas. Anybody with sufficient skill who could build it could just as readily hide or fake vectors that they're coming from. We have no idea who it is.
Well, I was going to say,
and the funny thing is, we take all those things as evidence that we do.
He also mentions Hal Finney, which some people say that if you look at the code and the early, like Greg was saying, the early language, you can look at if you're linguistically inclined, some of the language sounds like Hal Finney's language, some people say. So it's
apparently the NSA,
sophisticated actors, right? They could spoof that.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
He also says it could be a Romanian drug dealer. Go on, Andrew.
Yeah, I forgot about the Romanian drug dealer. There is
the NSA. Sorry, go ahead.
It's Joe. It's clearly Joe.
I think it's more likely to be Zabo.
Joe's
because he follows me. That's the only reason I think it might be him, because none of these other people follow me.
I think if you look at the psychological profile, it's Garzik. Garzik is a lot more. He stays in the shadows. He's always kind of been like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He gives away so much.
Yeah, I tell you,
dang, that rules out Lee.
Away, doesn't want to be, not like look at me. And
Satoshi was a prototype LLM.
Well, I tell you, when I first talked to Garzik, I was interviewing for Block. I wanted somewhere to go to after Disney so that I could be independent and separate, right? And so I went to Block, and Garzik is one of the founders. And so I in the interview, I told him, hey, look, first off, I'm honored to talk to you because, he's brilliant. He's done some crazy, amazing things. But I said, the odd thing about it, a lot of people don't tie this together because people look at it as, he's one of the first two, I think, three Bitcoin devs, right? And that he's actually, and I told him it's almost like as a demigod, because he worked for or with Satoshi in that, which is, I think Satoshi's probably one of the most important figures, whoever it is, in the past at least 100 years. And then he also worked for Linus Torvalds directly as a Linux kernel coder. And so the fact that this one person has done those two things is pretty astounding, because Linus Torvalds is probably one of the most important software people in the past 100 years, because he's just, or I should maybe not just software people, but the fact that Linux is everywhere, right? Everywhere. So the fact he worked for both those is a rare thing. So,
dude, and it was actually distributed open source too. So there is some precedent to the person figuring it out also having the knowledge of scaling a big open source project up.
Yep.
You're all wrong. It's James Comey.
But it could be Jacob Applebaum too, whose name is verboten, but who nonetheless has the credentials and the chops to do it.
What do I know? There are a bunch of good people that should be. You know what's so frustrating? People like Kernighan and Ritchie, who invented the C language, when I think it was when Richie died, it wasn't even celebrated because somebody else died on the same day. And it's like a lot of these people go where, normal people don't even know who that is. They essentially created C and Unix, which led to what, everything. So anyway.
We're not using binary anymore, boys.
Yep. Okay. So that was it for the questions.
Except where
that was it for the questions. What else do we want to cover? Or where do we want to go with the current events? Well, we could do the plane crash, so a Cessna crashed in somewhere in Northern California, and it took out a whole neighborhood. A little Cessna.
Do you know what just happened?
What?
About the Israeli?
No.
PSYOP.
Oh, you don't know.
It's a
wait, is it the New York thing? Or DC?
Yeah. DC, yeah.
DC. Yeah, I do
Just
know
another
that false flag thing.
Yeah, that was but on its it's if you're a kid living on mom and dad's or the government's dime, you're done with Free Palestine. That's going to be such an illegal terrorist organization thing now.
I think they're going to try to do that. I don't think they're going to be able to do it.
They're going to
not.
They're going to come at that so hard.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
You're going to get Dixie chicked.
It's going to end up
hypocrites of ourselves as a movement.
It's going to break it further. That's the thing. Anything they do like that is going to break it further. When they try to pass a bill to say that an American doesn't have free speech anymore if it's about a certain religion or tribe of people.
Plus, the best way to make them look as crazy as they are is to let them talk.
Yeah.
They already passed the anti-Israel thing where you can get fined $1 million if you.
They didn't pass that,
didn't they?
No, they didn't pass that. No.
Didn't it pass halfway?
Nope.
What?
Nope. They dropped it. They do. They put it out there. Then everybody's like, "Yeah, right."
They probably put that one out there as a sacrificial horse, right? Like every
they
bill
still have
something that they intentionally put out there,
45
targeted instead of something.
45 states or something say you can't boycott Israel or something like that if you want to get any state money or.
That's
various,
not new.
Yeah, that's been forever, and it's crazy. Like you can boycott America. You can boycott American companies. You can boycott anything, but you can't boycott that.
Boycott's a guy's name.
Oh, is it?
He was a slumlord, and he went to evict these his poor people because they were late or something, and the entire town came together, and they wouldn't deal with him. They wouldn't interact with him. They wouldn't sell him anything. Nothing. Wow. And that's where
a boycott literally is cancel culture. That's interesting.
His name was Boycott, and then he let the poor people live in his slums and backed off. So that's where boycott comes from.
Wow, I love it.
What about its time period was that?
Black and white photos. So I think Depression era.
So around okay, interesting.
So I remember seeing actual pictures of the houses, and they look pretty grapes of wrathy.
Yep.
Who wants to bet that the controls on construction new residential housing actually caused that problem instead?
Yeah.
You know what's something weird that here kids talking about Ireland. Well, we were talking about that earlier, Lee, but I think it was before the show. But anyway, I was talking about growing up in Europe, and brutalist architecture. It's terrible. Now I think it's terrible, but growing up, I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
I love it.
I thought it was so sci-fi and different than America, and you know what I mean. It wasn't, but now I look at it and it's soul crushing and all that it is.
There's some of them that are interesting, and there's some of them are definitely not, right? So
well, if we're talking, can I hop on my high horse here? I grew up in a house that was designed to look like something that people accuse of brutalism.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some of them,
unless we're talking about actual brutalism, that little niche of mid-century modern where they intentionally replace finished surfaces of any kind with poured concrete.
Yeah, I'm talking about straight gray concrete. It looked like.
But you're not talking about as long as you're not talking about the international style, like the all white surfaces and all that cool stuff. We got to draw a distinction.
No, I'm talking about
too many people come from modern architecture,
concrete, square. I thought that was like the coolest thing as a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, it looks so alien to me. I thought it was.
In my opinion, some of that still looks cool. There's still some stuff that looks like a spaceship. It's cool, right? I still think, but I think the stuff that really people look at it, like the things when you get it's just a huge block building that is drab and has stains on the side and it just looks like crap, right?
Right.
That's the stuff that people don't like, right? So
I don't know. I think the worst stuff out there is the mandatory beige on beige with no visible signage.
Right.
The roofs all have to have the same taper too.
All right. So should I do memes? Should I not do memes? I mean, it's still in the mix. We could do it, but I'm like, I don't know. We don't have to. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Memes? Yes.
Well, I do
memes. You got to do memes, man.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll do them. All right. We will do.
I guess we don't really have much use for them now that we don't have to send coded messages to the SEC investigators with it.
Right. That is true. Now they're just more likely to get us in trouble or something.
With England.
No, the new puzzle is who we're sending coded messages to now.
You know that false flag thing you all said. Bondi and Patel were on scene.
Yeah, I know.
And immediately, is that normal for the head to be on scene at a new crime? So
they've taken evidence, man. They had gloves on. They had the police tape, and they walked through, and they gave it's just like a cop show, right? They're gonna find a perp. I think the guy didn't leave. I think the guy was still sitting there, twiddling his thumbs and listening in on his MK Ultra instructions what to do next.
And cop shows,
right, man.
I saw this.
Has no idea where to be if they don't have any profit and loss to deal with.
How about this one? It's about measles and how the media portrays, and it had the Brady's where all the kids got measles and they're like, yeah, we got the measles right at school. They were like, measles, and then it had like a special victim SCU or something, and these people were like, kids are dying everywhere. There's an outbreak of measles, and it was so insane. The difference. It was pretty funny.
We need a soundboard. We could have that sound and everything. It's like, what's going on in this picture? I this popped up and it's like,
I don't know. We need to have Sora animate it to find out, probably.
I don't think we want that.
That's how.
Just don't ask Pornworks AI to do it.
Oh my god. All right. Anyway,
that's how a Bitcoin Cash is made.
That's good. That's funny. I'm sorry. That is funny. How about this one?
Oh my god.
Oh god.
It's like Canada. What is going on? I thought Canadians were supposed to be nice and stuff. They're all supposed to be polite.
That's a joke, right? Okay.
I don't think so.
No,
that's not. That was a real story. No. I don't know that. I've not read the whole story, but
that's not a thing. It can't be a thing.
Okay, we should fact check it.
How can that be?
Canada's on the list of people that probably would greet us as liberators at this point.
Let's see. All right, I'm looking it up.
I can see with consent.
Oh, you can see with consent.
Wow. That would be terrible, but I don't see how this could be anything.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
What does moves to begin mean? That's kind of a weasel word.
Yeah. AI overview is not available for this search. I'm not going to ask ChatGPT either. It'll probably start hating me.
I mean,
moves to begin is like oftentimes how you encode a thing in order to say like this weird mechanism that could tangentially make it possible to have parents.
Is Slay News legit?
Euthanize children.
Is this one
Frank Bergman?
It's like it's a sneak attack.
Anyway,
I don't think they probably got all the way there.
Who knows? You can find Saddam in it. All good.
I'm only finding it on this Slay News, so I don't know much about
so
Slay News. Right. So
Slay News does sound more reputable than like CNN, but
it does. It does, but at the same time,
you guys have a lot better economics chops than I do. What's going on with this stuff with the Japanese?
A 52% attack of the people who own the government bonds in Japan.
Yep.
And it's
supposedly unprecedented, though, right?
It's a 30 year like a 30-year loan, right? And basically the Bank of Japan owns 52% of all the loans, and they're buying more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a total capitulation of the Bank of Japan. I don't know what index that particular.
They're effectively defaulting.
This will alter which index will alter what I think.
This is the domino that falls that pulls down the whole system. Mm-hmm. So like because of their situation, they're going to be forced to sell, and they're the second highest owner in of Federal Reserve and bonds, of the United States bonds. So they're going to be forced to liquidate their holdings, which will pull down our system.
Mm-hmm. Which is the reason why we occupied them.
I was going to say they're tied to the U.S. markets, but the only thing that might save us is that a lot of states have been backing their state treasuries with precious metals during the Great Infection and all that. And recently, I think yesterday or day before, India cut ties with BRICS because of the deals that they're making with the United States and committed to doing deals in the US dollar, which is huge. And they have rare earth things because we had talked about before, yes, manufacturing happens in China, but the source materials come out of India. And so although this couldn't make the Fed break, but we could be going to that transition to real money, dare I say, currency. I don't know. It's going to be really, and that also goes to what I was talking about before, the Basel III kind of ticker with the July 1st thing. It's just, it's going to be a hot summer.
This really also really could be, has anybody looked at this at, what's been jokingly called the Big Beautiful Bill? Yeah. And really looked at what it does?
I haven't had a chance to read it.
Because right now everybody's talking about it like it's just like a big spend. And my initial reaction to it was like, ugh, are you kidding me? They're just going to reauthorize everything. And then I reread that Mandarins and Barbarians piece by Yarvin and took a look at it from the standpoint of power economics. And actually what that bill does is spend money to buy friends. And it does so in a way that fundamentally restructures the limits of administrative power without making it obvious.
Man.
And so I actually think maybe what this is a reaction to is the narrative around that bill, because
possibly
right before they passed it, you also got that weird Moody's downrank that they should have been doing a long time ago if they're going to downrank us for anything.
Well,
that's all of a sudden unsustainable when we're spending to disable the way you get a cash cow out of it.
This is interesting thread on whether or not Dutch is a real language. That was hilarious.
They're refinancing the debt sometime in June. Or is it before July or in July? It's sometime June, July. I don't know. So that plays into that as well.
Is everything going to actually collapse or not? Because I'm still. I don't know when it's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to collapse.
It's got to collapse.
As soon as they run out of tricks they can use to keep it from collapsing.
Right.
There's
well,
happen next year.
I guess their last step will be the war, right? Yeah. I mean, they're going to try to push it into war so they can kind of do hand-wavy stuff, right?
That's how they always work. Is that they create a struggle session across the whole system so that everyone's on the same page and nobody's responsible except for the people that lose the war.
Yep.
But do you think that Trump being his administration and what's going on, do you think that perhaps he's actually trying to default on the dollar for a restructured plan.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he would.
Who knows?
I mean, he would. He would have experience in this, being involved in like 5 bankruptcies.
He's the king of bankruptcy.
Yeah. The problem is, are you going to go to the same people that he went to?
Yeah.
If I had to call it, I'd say this is an attempt to kick the can on the big issue until 2026 post-election.
Yep.
And what they're really going to do is try to sneak in little structural elements that they can use to set up a big fight over whatever the debt ceiling happens to be set at, with the discretion given to set that, right? Like, because it didn't set a debt ceiling. It said, so-and-so, what's his butt, is authorized to establish.
Joe, I sent you a meme. I thought I sent this to you.
Okay.
But,
and because of that, they can put all of the question off until after the midterm. So why not buy a coalition for that one and then really ram home some the victory points at that point? If there is a path to this thing not blowing us up, that's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. I mean, and on a political dissolution, it has more to, in my opinion, to see what happens in 2026 if the Democrats are able to take the House, and they can effectively, what they're doing now, they can blame on the Democrats later because it's Republican, and it's just a vice versa effect. Like, we're going to do this to piss all of you off, and then you're going to do that, and then we're going to blame you. I mean, sort of like what the Democrats did the last 4 years with the Republicans in the minority. Now they're blaming the Republicans. It's a tit for tat. It's politics.
Where'd you send that, Sean?
I texted it to you, and then I sent it to the Telegram.
Can't get it. Okay, I can't get to it from the text. So okay, let's see here.
One of the really great things,
Telegram,
if anybody wants to be white-pilled a bit, they got rid of the indefinite delay and indefinite challenges associated with NEPA, which is the environmental regulation that stops every single project in its tracks for N number of years until every last administrative remedy against the environmental assaults has been won. So you can actually pay a fee that sticks them to a 6-month deadline that can't really be challenged very easily, which is kind of cool. Because a lot of those reasons, like if you ever see a news story about power lines that they proposed 10 years ago getting partially built after 20, that's why, right? And they kind of gutted that with this, which is pretty cool. That could basically juice growth in a way that may make some of the financial estimates not quite right as well.
Force them to actually work.
There's some fun in there. People should take a closer look. It's smarter than you think.
What am I looking at? This is hilarious.
I don't even know where that meme.
I don't know where to start.
It's funny. It was popping around. I have no idea where.
Does anybody know what that actually is?
Well,
is that like is this a wax factory or something? Are they making wax models?
There's like it's fish. There's a koi fish, right?
Yeah, they're carp.
Oh, koi fish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
It does
too many colors in that thing, man.
All right, I'm gonna have to skip some memes. 1 second.
Yeah, but the Trump dog has run away though.
Well, yeah, maybe, yeah.
What is that?
At least from Netanyahu. I don't know if he's run away from the rest of his Israeli handlers, but at least Netanyahu.
Man, I can't.
How did both of them end up in the 1970s car-wise?
Yeah, we talked about Kanye last week, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of it's still interesting stuff.
The world's most punk music artist.
Yeah. Oh, they banned his karaoke. That was the other thing. They banned the version that had no lyrics at all.
Wow.
I thought that was hilarious. It was like, wow, okay. Man, when it's so dangerous. This sequence of notes cannot be played on Spotify or YouTube. It's hilarious.
There should be some kind of like music award for being able to write enough things in a row that get censored. Like you gotta have some.
But it's But it's okay to glorify gangbanging and violence and murder and
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They have to get it full.
They're words set to music. They're not the thing
itself. I mean, Kanye with his little Heil Hitler bullshit. gets banned, but yet you still got people listening to some satanic shit like Travis Scott. It's like, come on,
yeah.
Right, but he didn't really get banned. He just ingratiated himself to a gigantic chunk of audience.
Yeah,
he's more popular than ever, probably.
So I hadn't looked into the KYC stuff on the Genius Act, but I mean we can now. But here's what it says. First off, I didn't know. I don't know if y'all know, but the Genius Act, it's an acronym guiding and establishing national innovation for U.S. stablecoins. Genius.
It's a bad sign when they start making actual acronyms.
Oh God.
But sure. So it's a stablecoin defined as a digital asset used for payments or settlement, pegged 1-to-1 to a fixed monetary value, e.g., U.S. dollar, backed by liquid assets like cash or short-term treasuries, and not classified as a security, commodity, or interest-bearing instrument. So it cannot earn any interest at all. You can't save it, you can't hold it and earn anything.
So with that, when are we going to finally just call it out and just call out Aaron Day as the Nostradamus of crypto and stablecoins?
It's basically the company store.
Wow.
But everybody is the company store.
Everybody should be able to look at the history of act naming and realize what's up here. Like the Bank Secrecy Act forced banks to spy on you. See what else? The USA Patriot Act created the world's most First Amendment hostile infrastructure ever. And gave us the TSA, like possibly the most un-American agency ever.
So you apply for a license.
Speech out the window.
License, you get a license to print money. Literally, you get a license.
The Genius Act is going to be remarkably
only permitted payment stablecoin issuers. U.S. incorporated entities approved by federal regulators like the OCC or subsidiaries of insured depository institutions can issue stablecoins. Issuers with over $10 billion in market capitalization face federal oversight by the Federal Reserve. So I guess there's like a number, and this is going to be getting around it because you have less than 10 billion, you can be approved. But like anyone can approve it, like states, individual states, their comptroller can approve them. But the anti-money laundering, so issuers are classified as financial institutions under the Bank Secrecies Act, requiring AML KYC programs, suspicious transactions reporting, and the ability to freeze, seize stablecoins to comply with lawful orders.
So this is expanding RICO.
Yeah, it's expanding it now. Like
this is meant to colonize crypto.
Yeah,
but also
like, first infect it with.
If I have a small bank or a small credit union, I now have the power to seize money that I see fit without like going through all the bureaucracy and government red tape. It's making it easier for basically more people can freeze your money than could before.
Wow.
It also sets the stage to weaponize the law against builders who don't want to comply with that law, because they can essentially stretch the definition, right? Like they did with they tried to do with brokers in every act Elizabeth Warren ever wrote, where she wanted to make private wallet holders have to pay absurd amounts of money to people who will deny them if they don't pass a character check.
But how much more appealing does crypto look now?
Real crypto.
We have Bill, who I've hated since high school, who I had sex with his girlfriend and he's never forgiven me. He's the president of the fucking bank. He can freeze my money to my small, independent construction company now because they're an issuer. It brings it to a whole different level. So why would you not use Bitcoin or some kind of crypto that the president of the bank doesn't have control over your money?
Right. Something with minimal trading pairs on centralized exchanges in USDC, ideally, right? Nothing that they can manipulate the price with by.
Well, you can't use USDC volume. Because Coinbase just turned over everybody's information to the IRS. So
nice.
I mean, no privacy there.
Not using Coinbase.
Which without a subpoena, then supposedly that's not able to be used against you. But regardless, they are sending out threatening letters. So I don't know.
Right. Oh yeah, that's just like any third-rate debt collector, right? They buy debts that are expired because nobody else can collect them after 7 years, and then they just send mean letters until some people
we
send money.
Talk about that too. Like they do all those things. They put KYC in place. They do all these things that effectively makes it so that the crypto world, where it should be more secure and safer for people to hold their value, what they own, becomes as risky, sometimes more risky, because they're forcing all the companies to do this stuff. And you look at it, what Coinbase, he posted something that he was worried about people getting messages from people impersonating Coinbase personnel and getting cheated. And I'm like, why are you already? You're a freaking crypto company supposedly, and you're supposedly in this business. Why aren't you using the tech? I mean, good God,
yeah,
it's pathetic. It is pathetic.
It is. They could have signed messages. They could have signed messages.
All they have to do is sign messages. Say, here is our key. If it's not from this key, here's how you verify it independently. How easy is that?
You could have done that with freaking RSA.
Well, and they have an education page which I thought was a great idea. On Coinbase, they have for new people, whatever, you can earn crypto by doing these little education tools. I thought it was a great thing for, a crypto company to help onboarding people using education, whatever, and having incentives and whatever. Why weren't they doing that? I saw your tweet, Joe, and I, retweeted it and whatever. Brilliant. Why aren't they educating people and teaching people this is how you know that we sent you the message? Why
that's how you get the adoption too, right? It's like everybody could point to it. It's like, this is real, that you need to leave behind the bank, but they don't do it. And they happen to also be funded by the same people that fund the banks. It's just a new thing for them.
And they have that at their fingertips, and they have all the solutions. They're not doing it on purpose.
Right. Yeah. They don't want that. It's just like Coinbase also took a strong moral stance against proving their liquidity on chain. They didn't just not do it. They wrote sort of like a polemic on their Medium page that's been clapped for a grand total of 2 times. And what they said in it was essentially, there are some problems with this that have to do with privacy of institutional partners. And what they're hinting at there sounds to me a lot like what you would say if you wanted to keep your books closed so that you could enable over-the-counter trades when they wanted to dump positions before they front-run the market, right? Because you can do over-the-counter trades privately in quantities that don't push the price until you're ready to push the price, and then you do one public trade. Boom, your position lands right where you need it to, right? If you can move institutional level money, like ETF level money, then you can do that. And I would be willing to bet that Coinbase is probably on the take, because they can already sort of inflate the supply of currency by what people store on exchange.
And or sharing
sort of fractional reserve, right?
Exchanges.
If you don't ever take your coins off Coinbase, you're like most people, right? And in fact, you're even like OGs now who keep getting blocked from taking it off randomly. And those monies can be sort of co-owned. Like, you don't necessarily own your coins, but they could be telling you that your coins are your coins and you can take them off anytime you want. And that's actually the same coin in their possession that they're telling that to everybody else about. So they can be dumping user deposits into this betting game that they're playing with these people who are front running the market using the old school tactics of backroom over-the-counter trades before big dumps. It's the moral hazard of asynchronous information just writ large. And guess where that doesn't happen? Anywhere there's not a centralized authority capable of keeping that private.
Yep. It all needs to be fixed. But some of that is, we need to stop using the companies that don't use the tech, or, if none of them do, it's kind of hard to do that, right?
People also need to just go ahead and get the full-blown data anal MRI required to take your tokens off Coinbase and get them out of there.
Yep.
They can prove their liquidity by running.
How that stuff works. All right. What else? What else are we going to cover?
I'll jump back into what Sean was asking earlier. We was talking about the Enneagram stuff real quick. Like I said, 6s, they don't like weird things, weird people. 7 like weird things and weird people. 5s are like, oh, we need to have more experts. 8, 9, and 1. 8 is it's more like an action. So like the people that cuss and like the boxers and stuff like that. 9, they like to watch a lot of TV. And 1 is like the carpenters and the perfectionists and stuff like that. I'm still kind of working out 2, 3, and 4. Just pressure tests for those.
Like I said, I just go 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. How would you characterize each of us, given what you know so far? That's an interesting question for you.
That's interesting.
Well, I think Lisa and Joe are 6. Greg, I think you're a 5. I know Zach is a 6, and Sean, I think you're a 5 as well.
I ain't no fucking 6.
That's so 6 to say that.
Man.
I'll talk about this in the brain section.
What else? What else this week? I've been busy working stuff, so I haven't been paying attention to some of the current events. It's been a better world.
Right.
The big beautiful bill passed before we started.
Passed the House.
Yeah.
Not the Senate, right?
Okay, so that okay. Is that the CDBC one?
The thing about I think it's the one with the taxes or like no taxes on tips.
It's the one that's structured to curtail all of the deep state discretion disguised as a giant tax cut.
Basically, yeah.
It's basically got a bunch of culture war honeypots in there, so the talking heads scream about the things they want them to, while it secretly sort of quietly trims some really boring things. Like it sets Liz Warren's that agency up to run itself out of funding by not spending exactly the dollar amount it's granted.
Taxes for against tax on Social Security, tax on tips, and tax on what's the other one? Overtime. And it gets rid of all the DEI bullshit, which is great because we're coming up on June, which should be, pride in our military, not people's sexuality, which should be nobody's fucking business. Excuse me.
No. Oh, there's the Golden Dome.
Also paid off Elon to go away in that bill.
We're going to have a Golden Dome.
Yeah, the Golden Dome.
That's the thing.
Oh, that's right.
We never thought we need, but
wait, I'm sorry. What?
We're going to have a golden dome. It's like the Iron Dome in Israel, but it'd be in America, so it's the Golden Dome.
Oh, it's Trump, so it's
gold. Oh, it's the
we need gold. It because we never needed one before, but now we do.
Yeah.
Actually, a gun behind every blade of grass. That's all we needed before. But
well, the risk is actually I saw a lady that was being interviewed, I think by Tucker, and she was talking about the risk of China using, the balloons that went over a while back.
That's right. Yeah.
And them actually using those balloons to set off an EMP to disable all communications and then to put a nuke to nuke us with. So there actually is quite a risk.
Well, nuke is an EMP is used with a nuke. That's something I was wondering.
Somebody handled one of those like balloons in person,
because if we intercept, because they said to intercept a nuclear bomb, but if we intercept a nuclear bomb in the atmosphere or above the atmosphere, that would create a massive EMP, which would knock everything out.
It won't because they're timed altitude-based fuse. It's not going to detonate except at the altitude that they're set to.
Right, it won't actually detonate unless they're using nukes to shoot
it'll destroy the bomb if it's blown up outside. It will detonate if it's
detonated
by the detonator.
You'll just get some radioactive fallout.
Yeah,
it's okay.
That's all right. A little bit.
Yeah, they're probably
a little bit of radioactivity didn't hurt anybody
up in the atmosphere every day. Honestly,
it is the pizza episode. We didn't even. Sorry.
That's
although
that's
it's silly
probably
to think
real.
we could shoot down hypersonic missiles at this point. That tech is beyond us.
Those are crazy. I like watching the films they have of some of those. Those are interesting. Those are fast, right?
Have you seen the so this is a conspiracy thing. There's a thing we're not allowed to say, which is supposedly what they farm. You know, the adrenaline and like a trailer hitch. You know, it's made out of chrome. But there's a shortage of it because of what's going on. And if you've seen Ellen, she's aged 30 years. A lot of these, you know, these big, you know, Hollywood people have aged.
Have you seen Kathy? What's her name?
You can use some off-the-shelf drugs to get that same effect without.
It's really Anderson Cooper's brother, but.
Yeah, I don't know what's real or not in any of that stuff, but like if you watch even I don't know if it's in the book, but the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, there's a big thing on that too.
If it is real, it's unnecessary.
It's bizarre. I like the series of memes here. These are all really cool. Oh man. Well, we're only an hour 16 in, and you're like
it's our shortest episode.
Yeah. Yeah. There weren't any questions, I think, is the thing. So
I mean, speaking of pizza and Pizzagate,
can we say that?
Anybody paying attention to the Diddy trial?
I haven't been as much as I probably should. I've heard stuff about it. Some of it's kind of gross, so I don't want to know all of it. But I mean, there's stuff in there with Bieber. There's stuff in there with there's definitely reference
center for civil asset forfeiture. I'll tell you that.
There's some crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, about Biden, Obama, Biden. You got the cancer thing. That's a whole crazy thing.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even see that first. Like, I didn't even see any report of it. I just saw people.
Also, the fact that woman, and this is something me and Lisa talked about. I think that this is a big thing. This is something so terrible and so huge that they've brought out of the shadows a little bit, so that people are focused on it. So then they can go ahead and admit 9/11 and other things, and people will accept it like they did Area 51. The fact that our government spent $21 trillion on underground cities and built all this shit, if people are going to be so focused on that, and it's such a big thing, that it'd be like, oh yeah, we know 9/11, Pentagon, all that, you know, it's obvious, and it'll just kind of go by the wayside, you know, kind of a footnote.
It could very well easily be like anything from flooding the zone with bullshit to distract us from something else to, you know, God knows what it is, but it's not on the level. If it were on the level, we'd be seeing results from it, not speculation about it.
Well, people used to say
Israel's going to attack Iran. That's another thing.
Well, they also played on the Diddy thing. They played a audio of Prince using the exact dollar amounts of payoffs that were documented in some of the in the case, and saying that there are bribes and payoffs, and that people that were involved in like this in Diddy's like company, and that it was this, you know, like, I don't know if they used the term RICO or whatever, but that his business was threatening people and using intimidation and violence and whatever. And then he said, like, if something happens to me, it's because I know about these, you know.
Well, also, if they don't say all that stuff, they can't seize all his organization's assets either, which they totally want to do. So they're going to justify that somehow.
Part of that.
It's a big part of it. They can loot the Diddy empire, or they can just send Sean to jail for a while. Which one are they going to pick, even if he's innocent?
Yeah. Well, they're going to pin.
Same one they pick all the time, right? The one that lets them civil asset forfeiture until they're blue in the face.
And
I'm just pissed because I can't wear my Sean John clothes, and that cost me a lot of money back in the day.
Huh. Interesting.
Or it'll be worth a whole lot because he's notorious, you know.
No, the Notorious line is different. It's a different clothing company. But no, I have them on my couch, and I'm like, man, I can't wear these shorts or this shirt anymore. They were like some of my favorite clothes.
Huh.
Yeah.
I still have my a bunch of my Kanye gear. I still wear that around.
The old Yeezys.
Yeah, not the shoes. I never had
that
the
stuff's
shoes.
expensive,
I'm weird
man.
with shoes. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
This one's awesome. It's like, take him to the beach, inshallah.
So what do you guys think about what the South African government is up to these days?
Sheesh. Those people need to get out.
That's such
I think apartheid's making a comeback.
Me and Lisa talked about this. It's so the same story. On one side is like that the South African president said, "I don't have a plane for you," mic drop, and it's and then the other side is like, dude, Trump, just totally, schooled this dude, and it's so obvious how controlled everything is, to me anyway. It just depends on what side you're on as to what your media is that you're getting fed.
I thought it was right.
I thought it was really cool, and I think that's something that leaders should start doing. Like, real Trump brought in the audiovisual thing, called down to the, like in high school they brought it in, and he's like, "Hey, look at this! Hey, look at this!" And the president's like, "Oh, I didn't know about this." He's like,
"Yeah,
where is this?
Where is this?" He was like, "I don't know, South Africa."
It's like, holy shit, they do the 2000s Jon Stewart show in here now. Like,
so like when JD Vance goes over to Europe, it's like, hey, you guys don't have good free speech, then they bring in the AV squad, and they're like, hey, what about that Epstein stuff? When are you guys gonna start showing clips from the campaign where I'm gonna do this? When are you gonna release these things? When are these coming out?
Yeah.
Start embarrassing. If man, it'd be so awesome if they just embarrassed each other into actually fixing shit.
Well, but they embarrass themselves. Speaking of that, I mean, Kash Patel and Danny Bongino sitting there.
I didn't know it was as bad as you said. It's
to all
terrible.
Americans, like we're all stupid, which apparently we are. They get in there and we think, oh, they're Trump's guys, they're good guys, they're MAGA, they're this and that. And then they go, Epstein didn't kill himself.
I thought it was a little side comment. When
No,
you told me, they were like, yeah, they were selling it.
Yeah.
Here's another theory. Here's another theory, guys. Suppose they know us all so damn well. They know exactly which buttons to push. And they say things specifically to seed the internet that they can no longer seed with messaging, with our inverse reactions to the thing they want us talking about.
To say, look at me.
In order to do it, they just have to say controversial things that piss people off.
I mean,
psychology. Like if you want to piss everybody off about X, Y, or Z thing, so that you can get the internet to talk about what the media wants you to, then all the media has to do is say stuff like flagrant lies. They can get up and say Trump's a dictator, and all of a sudden it sets everybody off right at that moment on that topic.
Well, and
what are they deboosting by
destroy
boosting
the system? Then they're doing a great job. And get
Brian makes a good point.
We got to start leading the conversation.
The knowledge of corruption is nice, but if no one does anything about it, it's just depressing.
I'm glad you brought that one up, Sean. I want to talk about that.
I feel that way so much.
Yep.
Because it's like, look what's being exposed. I'm like, yeah, but no one's doing anything, so it's actually worse. I feel more depressed.
Think about this.
An excuse. And reverse racism is not real. I think that's like fake news. That's like date rape. It's just racism. It's not reversed. It's not, it's racism. Whatever. It's basically racist to call reverse racism. It's just racism.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, think about this though. Like the knowledge of corruption is actually kind of deceptively nice, right? It's not really that nice. All it does is gives us sort of like a smoke alarm level awareness that something's wrong. You set the car alarm off on your car. It doesn't mean your car is getting stolen. Something's happened to your car that set your alarm off. But if all we know from people talking about stuff is, hey, this alarm's going off again and again and again, and this alarm's going off. We don't have a story about why the break-in's happening. We don't know who's doing it. all we're doing is staring straight at the thing that they want us to react to when we just focus on the corruption, right? We have to start trying to take the corruption and piece together a story, and stop being afraid of the idea that, what we actually need is to know why, and that why can be assembled in coherence with the facts, but not from the facts.
Well, so what do we do?
Take your data and start coming up with hypotheses and testing them. We got to find a way to do experiments that get us to an understanding of what it can't be. We can eliminate the possibilities.
I think we all do understand what it is. We know that it's the system that's been built to, suppress our freedom and to corral us and control us. But then keep looking at it to fix the problem. We keep.
How many layers of our reaction do you think they can anticipate, though? Right, is the question. Do you think that they know we're going to react a certain way to the things that other people are going to react to from what they say? How many levels can they trick us? And we have to presume they're smart, because they are.
Right. I feel like I'm a bottomless pit supervisor, though. Anyway,
me too.
I don't know. I think you guys need to read the book that I just finished writing.
Oh yeah, yep. I have it.
I'm trying not to spill it and ruin it for everybody, because I totally unmasked the dynamic behind this.
I just downloaded the PDF, so I'll be reading it this weekend.
Is it
probably tonight?
I will share it with you, Lisa.
Yeah, I would love to.
It's a manuscript just yet, so. Oh, I'm working on making it viciously bannable.
I wouldn't call it a manuscript, considering certain false flags that happen at schools typically, and then afterwards, what they find.
Oh my goodness.
The manuscript.
I was thinking more like submitting it to Penguin House, but not Penguin House. Screw those guys.
I was thinking more like Garon as well. Glory to you and your neighbor.
Just make it an NFT, and then it can't be banned, right?
Maybe.
Well, it can ban it, but can it stop people from reading it?
That's news. Uniswap unblocked dragons, which was an interesting thing.
That is good.
Decentralized. Somehow they got together and they unblocked the dragons that apparently
only one
block years ago.
Just
what was that, Andrew? But only one.
I said that was one of the only ones that apparently that they blocked. Right?
Yeah, it's the only ones that they blocked. Yeah, so
convenient.
Yeah,
that is convenient.
That's funny.
That was a good one. Yeah.
I wonder who's going to be next. Do you think it's going to be Coinbase that brings you back next, or Binance?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
probably a breach of trust to talk about that on a video.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say that we've never solicited a listing or paid for a listing, and it's against our legal guidance and policy to do that. So if anybody wants to do it, independent people can go, and I can answer any questions. So if you need something filled out, I can help you answer questions. But
I think people should start a prediction market personally. That's
that'd be good. That would be smart, right?
This is not legal advice.
Yeah, there's not legal advice or
this is entertainment.
This is entertainment.
We're showing these memes right now. Please do not be confused.
This is all a work. We are not to break the fourth wall.
Yes.
Yep. Also, those disclaimers don't save us from anything.
Kayfabe isn't dead, everybody.
Yeah.
I feel this. I feel this meme actually.
Safety protocols off. This one's she's ridiculous. Like what book is he reading?
That's what.
Oh man, that's funny.
It's unbearable.
The one on
there was an 8 meme.
Oh man,
like
Who knew this? I saw this meme and I'm like, I looked on the movie and I was like, it's really there. Did you ever see this? It's pretty cool. I need a staff like that to put my pipe in. That's awesome.
That's sick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I want
no
that.
idea. It's really there. Yeah.
You had a modular staff, man. Must have been the latest model.
Yeah.
Now I need a staff for my pipe now.
This is one of those visual ones. Do you guys see what that really is?
That looks like an orc.
What are you looking at?
Where?
It looks like Theoden.
I mean, you've seen
it looks like someone laying down. And I'm just
it's like it's a lake, right? It's a lake.
It's a lake.
It's not really a lake. What is it?
Oh, I was looking at on the top of the tree. That looks like a soldier standing up on the top of the tree. But yeah, that's
we'll call it that.
It's not a lake. So what is it?
A pond.
It's not a
lake.
It
looks like
steel wall with a tree.
A wall.
Oh,
it is a tree.
Wow, it is a wall.
Isn't that wild?
That's
anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
That's wild.
I
I
have some of these saved up for when what's his name, the Bitcoin maximalist, who's so proud of being British and having an accent. I can't remember his name. He wears that Metallica shirt when he met with the president of El Salvador. I can't remember that guy's name. He doesn't like me, so I've saved up a lot of these for whenever if ever I need to respond to him. So apologies
but
for
has he
anybody
been,
else. British. What's that?
Everybody sees through the fact you have no credentials other than your accent.
Yeah.
But has he actually been there?
Yeah, that's not that guy at least, but that guy, man, I can't remember that dude's name, but it's horrible. This is a meme from 2023. Still applies generally. Let's see here.
The only thing that they did wrong was like make it fewer people earlier, because it was more people than fewer that were in a lockdown condition, right? Like,
yeah. This one's hard to explain to people, but if you know, and anyway, then let's see here. This one's, I don't even know why I have this one, but it's funny.
The FDA.
There was that ball lightning last week all over the country.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, there were a lot of captured on phones. Stuff looked pretty weird.
Ball lightning is bizarre. I've only seen it in small form. I've never seen it like out in nature, big. I have a friend
like in Walmart parking lots and stuff, and people are like, "Dude, that's a spaceship." It's like, no,
if
it's
anybody has
lightning.
VR that can access YouTube, ball lightning is really cool up close.
Yeah. Yep.
Highly recommended.
Speaking of none of your life mattering, the FDA ordered Pfizer and Moderna to update their warning labels on the mRNA jab to warn of risk of heart-related injuries, primarily affecting teenage boys and young men.
Do they let you read the label before they shove it in your arm?
Well, they used to be blank. The inserts used to be blank, but I guess now they're putting that warning on.
Man, this one is. I saved this a while back. This one is hilarious and so bizarre to me. But it's
At least it's not vegan cats. That was just animal abuse.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, yes. It is so silly. It's so funny.
Oh God.
Anyway, there's this.
Also a different race that said one is black and one was white.
Yep.
Mental illness is real. We have a crisis.
So, has anybody checked out the radically entertaining Pirate Wires article about how 4chan actually got taken down and who did?
No, I want to know more about that.
You guys need to go check it out.
Huh?
It was the exiled jackers from QA. For anybody who knows what that means.
No, I don't. I don't know what that means.
I didn't either till I read the article.
Okay, I'm looking through. Oh, this one's kind of funny. Act of kindness. It's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Wait, can we roll the comments back up? What's this about meme coins?
Oh. This one?
Meme coins to... Yeah, adding to meme coins to increase value that hasn't already been explored. I love this idea. How about you guys?
Yes. Adding to meme coins to increase value that hasn't already been. Well, I mean, that's, you look at Meme Asylum. That's what we're trying to, and it's not for value, but to keep the community together. Even if one coin is like, hey, I'm rugging it, I'm out of there. It's still there, but then you come back into the community, and so it's just a big loop, intended to keep playing that game. But
yeah, like if the meme coin represents the idea of Linux, then you should build a distribution. Yeah, totally.
Right. So, anyway, are we? I don't know. We're at 36. You guys, what do you guys think?
We almost hit an all-time high again for Bitcoin. We were
almost, really.
We were $20 off, $50 off from all-time high.
It's only going up from here now.
But I had my take profit set just below that, so we're good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
And next week is Bitcoin conference, right?
Oh boy.
So.
Are you guys going?
No.
Not
to me.
Unfortunately.
Where is it? Do you know where it is?
Don't you get arrested at those things now?
And sure enough, feds know.
I can imagine.
No, that's where everybody is. All the politicians are there kissing everyone's butt. I made for family night last night. I made
Frito pie.
King of the Hill a lot. So yeah, I made Frito pie. But for dessert, I made bananas Foster.
Nice.
And Joe, I bought you some brandy.
What is
a gift set probably 5 years ago, and it was already like 10 or 15-year-old brandy.
Mm-hmm.
But so we were supposed to meet up somewhere. You come in Austin or something. But anyway, I cracked it open and I used it to make the bananas Foster. And it was really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I was down there. I didn't get a chance. Sorry about that. I didn't get to meet William. Didn't get to meet you. We need to do something where we can all meet in person, right?
I'm having a meetup in June in Illinois, and you guys are all welcome.
Does William come to that? I think William's come to that.
He said he might. Yeah. So that would be great.
I would, but I'm going to be in Illinois that day.
Illinois. Metamora, Illinois.
Missouri. I'll be drive through Missouri to get there.
Yes. Yeah. Super fun.
Hey, we could road trip it, man.
Lots of great people there.
Maybe. Don't you get shot in Illinois? Just Chicago.
Just Chicago.
No, it's not. It's not in Chicago. It's not near Chicago.
Whew, close call.
It's way south.
I remember years ago, it was like apps were new, and there was this police scanner app, and it was the boringest thing ever. I was like messing with it, and then it hit Chicago, and it was insane. It's like, yeah, I got 4 of them crossing. They got machine guns. They're crossing the highway right now. I was like, what? Everything was so boring until I hit Chicago to their frequency.
Your phone crashes just every time you turn it on when you're in Illinois because of all the notifications.
There's some cool stuff in Chicago too. So,
yep.
I got into it with one of my normie friends because I posted some video, and I think it was probably faked, or it was just terrible. And I put, they're not even trying, because it was like a space thing, and there was a guy in the background. They had a glass of water that was sitting on the console, just a regular glass half full of water that would have floated off, but there was also a dude in the background, like a tech guy that wasn't supposed to be there. So he's like, yeah, I said, they're not even trying. He goes, imagine being so stupid you think a fake video is real. And I was like, dude, have you seen stuff where you can see the wires, or just all this basic stuff? I said, and they've admitted that they've doctored stuff, or, because they have to take that, get that funding, and then probably so much has been funneled to other projects, that were supposed to be earmarked for it. And you throw something up and it's like, oh, that's where those billions went to, this.
Yeah. Yeah. Too bad people can't go back and just look at the internet pre-AI and realize that Photoshop has been pretty much able to do the same thing in the hands of a skilled professional for a long time. Mostly what they object to about generative AI has to do with us being able to access it for cheap.
Yep. Zach is backstage.
Oh, what happened? What happened? Sorry.
Oh, my camera did its thing and kicked me out.
It's all good.
So, all right.
That last meme was wild, actually, with the green screen. One? The one with the green screen.
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of those that blow my mind. I'm like...
makes you wonder about NASA.
Right. Yep. There's an early Navy one that showed, that was broadcast to people. Here's, this vessel that went, I don't know at what level, it didn't orbit or whatever, but they sent something up into space, and it was crazy how fake it was. I mean, it looked like a little kid's show fake, where it was, I think it was the moon passed in front of the stars or behind the stars or something silly. I mean, there was a bunch of just crazy stuff, and they tried to pass that off as real. So
I think it's test to just see, like Lisa, just see how stupid people are. Like how hard do we have to work to fool people?
Oh God.
Oh. People will fool themselves if you give them the right triggers, though, right?
Oh my God.
There's this dude cool. Back in 2016. I was doing security, and I was listening to a police scanner like Sean was talking about, and he was out in Washington, and he was actively shooting cows on the side of the road up in Washington State.
Sheesh.
I thought that was kind of wild. And that's just talking about it on the radio.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
He's lucky that farmer didn't catch him.
Right. It's up near Bellingham. That's wild area out that way.
Huh. Man. Cool. Well, all right. So should we close out? We're at 42 minutes. We could close out here. I mean, I'm getting to the ends of my my memories.
Sounds good to me.
I'm pretty good with that.
Unless anybody else in the comments objects loudly in all caps repeatedly.
Yes. So
we can fish for things to talk about if you love us that much.
Zach, we'll start with you. You're the new at the bottom.
I'm the new bottom. First off, the tits are temporary, so the glory for Rome will always live forever.
Yes.
So
with that.
So you can go ahead.
Statue started with tits.
Unless the statue started with tits, then it might be a different story. That's also a possibility. It is Rome. So speaking of Rome, the legacy, right? Every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we're going to do another deep dive tomorrow. We're going to talk about Islam. Why is it a heresy? I got a video that I want Andrew to watch with all of you out there in the cyberspaces, and we're going to come up with our own perspective as we watch it. So, is Islam real? Is it true? Or is it the final chapter to the monotheistic realm of the Abrahamic religions, or is it a heresy?
Wow.
So
even
tune in.
Really monotheistic religion now.
It really isn't. There's a passage in the Quran that actually does. I don't know. They try to kick it away, but there is a passage that says, you can worship a couple extra gods if you want. Go right ahead.
Right.
It's not going to hurt Allah's
for me.
Yeah. So,
right. It's have to be lesser god. That's cool.
As long as it's the lesser god. But tune into the Legacy Ride every Friday at 11 a.m. Rumble, X, YouTube, and then everywhere else you like to listen to your podcast.
Excellent. Sean, I'm trying to remember though. I think we'll go that order. Sean, what is up?
Check me out everywhere. Started a trading group. Have calls. Place to hang out. Satoshi's Sean Squad on
Telegram.
On Telegram, yeah, you're in it.
Okay, make sure it's right. Okay.
Yeah. It's just my old group that we had for like a long time. It was just me, you, and Lee were in there. Had a couple people join. It's pretty cool. Had a couple cool calls. Before this run started, Mr. Fibonacci called out a lot of stuff, which was, shout out to him. He called a lot of really big moves. Check out me and Lisa on Tuesday. First half's on her show or her channel, second half's on mine. For Truth Tuesday. That's it. Be good to each other, be excellent to each other, all that stuff.
Excellent. Greg.
I thought about for a second maybe talking about Den, but I'm going to save that. And then I thought about talking about the book, but no, I'm going to save that. I want to talk to you guys about marginalia search. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
This is amazing. It's an open source project whose goal is to actively index all of the things that are left out of the indexes of the Google index-based searches. It's designed to pick up the parts of the web that are hidden, and only the parts of the web that are hidden.
Really?
So you
What's
can
it called?
juxtapose it and find out what's being censored. It's in my banner right now, marginalia-search.com. You guys will want to check it out. It is a power tool for the cypherpunk aligned.
Nice. Excellent. All right. I will check that out. Andrew.
Well, I'll be joining Zach tomorrow if my web TV terminal will allow me to connect properly and not get disconnected. But it'll be good episode. As for next Thursday, unfortunately, I'm not going to be here. I have some personal things to attend to with my family. So I'll be back here the Thursday after.
Right on.
Zach.
Right on. Lisa, what's up?
That's what's really going on.
Oh, we will be, we're gearing up for our meetup, as I mentioned earlier, in June, on June 20th in Metamora, Illinois. And I will be posting that information on my website and talking about it on Happy Hour tomorrow. So go to litecoinlisa.net tomorrow.
All right. And for me, make sure you're following Dracario World on X. We're getting really close to the point where we're going to be able to release that. And before we do, of course, we're going to give away a bunch of gateway keys. So make sure you're paying attention to that. And there might even be some chances before we get into that on Twitter, on X, whatever it is. And it's Dracario World. And also find the community group for Meme Asylum. X banned suspended the Meme Asylum account when Lee tried to get the blue check mark. they looked into it.
They reviewed him and they were like,
I don't think they gave him his money back.
Us money, you're booted.
Yeah. But the community's there, so you should be able to go there and we can answer questions and as the information comes out, when it's going to kick off and everything start and all the fun stuff there. It should be a pretty crazy project. Lots of interesting maneuvers that you could do with it. It should be pretty fun. So I'm looking forward to playing it. It'll be a fun thing to do. And also we're looking at porting Dragon Chain to I should say the implementation, porting to Golang, and also making the footprint much smaller, making it easier to set up, doing a whole bunch of other cool things. And in the process, we might have things that we want feedback on from all of you. So it'll be fun.
What's it currently written in, Joe? What's it
currently written in? A bunch of different languages, but Python. I think there's some in C, and there's some, there's a bunch of other stuff, but yeah. Some of it had some issues that were like, we could do better here and there. So
Go has really, really good parallel process handling.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Why. Yep, exactly. Okay, so that's it. Let's see here. So I guess we'll see you all. Some of you. We'll see whoever shows up next week. And I don't know. Make sure you go in and vote on the shows, and also on what we're supposed to call gifts on the show as well. I don't know if anybody voted on that. I meant to bring it up. I forgot.
Motion JPEGs.
Yeah, I prefer pings, but anyway.
We have to vote on a penalty for
WebIMs.
I'm totally gonna go with what the developer wanted.
I believe it matters. IM4AM is a 5.
Okay. All right. Okay. See you guys next week. Thanks a bunch. Bye.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, raw capital, label radical yet rational. A doctrinal approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.